very good afternoon to you. And after all the excitement we enjoyed this summer, it's a pleasure to be back as we get ready for the start of the 26-27 campaign. And what better way to get things underway than with the traditional curtain raiser, as the winners of the top domestic league in England take on the winners of the oldest trophy in the land. It's Manchester City taking on Arsenal, coming from the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, with the chance to pick up the first piece of silverware of the new season. For Enzo Maresca, it's an opportunity to show to the world what he can bring to Manchester City, his first official game in the dugout, as he takes over after the remarkable and trophy-laden era of Pep Guardiola. And for Mikel Arteta, following what was a magnificent campaign last season, he'll be hoping to get his hands on a trophy at the very first opportunity. Arsenal have lifted this trophy 17 times already, and they have a perfect record against City in this competition. The two sides have met twice before, and Arsenal have won on both occasions, most recently in 2023 when they prevailed through on penalties. So for both sides, this is the chance to kickstart the season in style, with a trophy up for grabs before the Premier League campaign has even begun. With perhaps the two leading sides in English football right now coming together in Cardiff, we'll take you through the starting lineups in just a second, and there's some big news among those players as well. But before I share that with you, just to remind you that if you have access to watching the game through your domestic TV provider, then don't forget to tune in there. Otherwise, my name is Simon Walters, and I'll be here guiding you through all the action in our unofficial and studio-based audio commentary. Okay, I mentioned some big names. Well, we have debutants listed in both sides. Bruno Guimaraes starts in the heart of the midfield for the Gunners, along with Christos Solis, starting his campaign on the left-hand side of the attacking three. And as for Manchester City, all part of Enzo Maresca's midfield rebuild, its record signing, a mere 116 million from Nottingham Forest, Elliot Anderson will start in that pivot holding midfield role. So having a look at the full teams, David Raya is back in goal for Arsenal, coming back from his exploits with Spain in the summer. The back four of Calafiori, Gabriel Mosquera, filling in for Saliba, who's out for the first couple of months of the season with an injury. Ben White at right back. The midfield three sees Luis Skelly, Guimaraes and Captain Ødegaard, and in front of them Christos Solis, Kai Havertz and Noni Madueke, also back from his action with the national side during the summer. Manchester City also name a very strong side. Gianluigi Donnarumma, who's had a restful summer in goal. Nico O'Reilly, Guardiola, Ruben Dias wearing the captain's armband, and Kusanov, the back four. Elliot Anderson and Kovacic in the pivot. Doku, Foden, an important season lies await for him, and Semenyo in front of them. And leading the line, it is, of course, Erling Haaland. There was talk about maybe Mamouche starting today, but Haaland is named in what is a very strong side for Enzo Maresca. But I tell you what, if we look at the bench as well, that is where there is some real strength here. Arsenal have Kepa, Hincapié, Rice, Eze, Zubimendi, Mikel Merino, Saka, and Dauman and Gokares all available on the bench. I mean, what a strength in numbers there is there. Marc Guéhi, Núñez, Rico Lewis, Nico Gonzalez and Ryan Cherki all on the bench for Manchester City. And then, of course, there's the return of Jack Grealish, awaiting to see if he has a future with Manchester City or will he be moving on again this season. A lot of talk always happens around this time of year about how much this competition matters. Is it important? Do teams take it seriously? Well, you asked the winners of it last year, Crystal Palace, do they take it seriously? They certainly did. Last year's winners against Liverpool, with a Justin Devenny penalty in the shootout, securing victory for the Eagles last time out. It has been, in recent years, the FA Cup winners that have been the most dominant in this competition. In fact, it's been 6 of the last times out have been won by the FA Cup winners, and that just shows perhaps a shift in how this trophy has been played out. It's only one time in the last 15 occasions that the team that have won this competition have gone on to enjoy league success as well, and that was Manchester United in 2011. But needless to say, if we look at these starting lineups, both managers have placed a great deal of importance in this competition. It's not being played at Wembley, as you might expect. That's been booked out today for a concert. So we are here instead in the Welsh capital, enjoying the beautiful Principality Stadium. And it is a capacity crowd in the afternoon sunshine in Wales, ready for an exciting game. What a summer we've had of football as well. So much excitement we've been able to enjoy throughout the summer, and now here we are again. One thing I've been preparing for is saying Enzo Maresca and not Pep Guardiola. It feels strange, doesn't it, when talking about this Manchester City side, but they are a side in the throes of a rebuild. The midfield especially, with Rodri probably on his way out. He's not on the bench today. He still has the lingering back issues, of course. He's not even on the bench today for Manchester City. And it definitely has the feeling of that midfield rebuild. Phil Foden is back in the side, and that is probably with Bernardo Silva and his move earlier on in the summer to Real Madrid, giving that space for Phil Foden once again to stake his claim at the heart of the Manchester City midfield. He has perhaps reason to feel disappointed not to have been named in Thomas Tuchel's England side during the summer competitions. But now he has the perfect opportunity to get back into the Manchester City side under Enzo Maresca, to be once again part of the starting 11 and perhaps prove his worth for international competitions as well. And Elliot Anderson, well, we will have to see. An awful lot of money was paid for him in that summer transfer window, a mere £116 million, give or take. That's a lot of pressure on the young man as well, you have to say. We spoke about Jack Grealish coming back, and that's another player who perhaps suffered a little bit under the weight of his very heavy price tag indeed. And will Elliot Anderson be able to cope with that pressure? Jack Grealish did speak to the media midway through his difficulties playing for Manchester City about the pressure he felt. And he felt a little bit relieved of that when he went out on loan last season to Everton. We'll have to see if he still has a future in Manchester City colours as well. There are a few formalities going on the pitch, hence the slightly delayed kickoff. Bruno Guimaraes is there, receiving his instructions, and it will, of course, be really interesting to see what he can bring to this side. An absolutely fantastic midfielder, very energetic player, really does look for the ball in multiple positions across the pitch. In fact, I think it would be fair to make a comparison between Guimaraes and the man who left the Manchester City midfield, Bernardo Silva, just in terms of the way they both go out looking for the ball all of the time, really trying to make things happen on the pitch. Christos Solis also with a fantastic opportunity, while some of the other players are eased back into that Arsenal side. Saka, Eze not involved in the pre-season campaign as their minutes have been managed. Declan Rice too, also with minutes that have been managed in the lead-up to this game. Sam Barrett will be your man in the middle as he now makes his way to the centre of the pitch. Both teams huddling together, both playing in their regular home jerseys. Arsenal, the Gunners in red and white. City in the sky blue. It's a lovely afternoon in Cardiff. Arsenal will be playing in from the left to the right. It's the near side of the pitch, covered currently in the shade. Manchester City going from right to left. So the likes of O'Reilly and Ben White will be able to enjoy a little bit of shade as they get things started. Those on the other side will have to contend with the early sunshine. And we're ready to go, folks. Arsenal getting us started. Gabriel knocking the ball forward here. And now Arsenal coming through with Calafiori on the left-hand side. Tries to play the ball into the middle. He'll have another go at this Calafiori. Now knocks it forward to Madueke. Madueke plays the ball towards the back post. It's nodded on nicely. Comes out towards the back post with Ben White. Played forward once again. Calafiori will try and chase this down. And Arsenal have gone ahead in 25 seconds. Would you believe it? Manchester City have not even touched the ball yet. And Calafiori have put them ahead in the trophy opportunity, the first one of the season. Calafiori has the goal. Enzo Maresca's first official game in charge of the Citizens has seen them concede in what must be record time in this competition. Statisticians, let me know out there if there's ever been a quicker goal in this competition. Arsenal have just been allowed to walk the ball into the back of the net. Madueke heads it back outside to the edge of the box. It's knocked forward. Calafiore gets hold of the ball and is just able to walk it through. He has so much space, and it's the simplest of touches afforded to the Arsenal left back. The Italian, fresh from a restful summer, has got his first goal of the campaign. And it is euphoria for the Gunners supporters now. Of course, there's an awful lot of football here still to go, but what a remarkable start that is. Now, let's have a look to see what can be the Manchester City response. Ruben Dias with the ball goes all the way back to Donnarumma. Donnarumma with the ball just outside his box. Now plays the ball in front of him to Guardiola. Maresca has it all to do. He shares, of course, the same hairstyle as his predecessor. Will he be able to share the same tactical brilliance? And he now has his first major test of the campaign. It's been a positive pre-season for City in the build-up, but they are now under the kibosh as Dias, wearing the captain's armband, having taken it from Bernardo Silva after his departure, plays in now to Guardiola. Guardiola makes his way towards the halfway line. He's got Nico O'Reilly on his left if you choose to go from him. Instead, plays it short and into Kovacic. Kovacic over to Kusanov. Kusanov with options in front of him, but chooses instead to go to Dias. Dias on the edge of the centre line. Now back to the Croat, Guardiola. Guardiola forced to turn backwards under the pressure from the oncoming Arsenal captain Ødegaard. This time, City finds space on the right-hand side with Semenyo. Antoine Semenyo tries to get through, but Calafiore blocks his pass. Semenyo will try and get something going once again. He tries to turn around. He does find Haaland with the ball. Haaland pushing his way through, manages to knock it forward to Foden. Foden gets it out on the right to Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson with the cross, but that goes straight behind the goal. Not the most convincing first touch of the game for the Englishman. So if you've just tuned in case you were late to the party today, Arsenal have struck blood within the first 25 seconds of this game. Calafiore put them in front with a remarkable start to this game. I don't think we've ever seen such an early goal in this competition before. Will it wake up Manchester City as Guimaraes turned through to Ødegaard, now to Madueke on the right-hand side. Madueke looking to come through the channel on the near side, plays it back in the centre to his captain, Ødegaard. Puts his foot on the ball, then tries to find the ball through to Havertz. It's dealt with by Guardiola, who'll try to find the clearance. Doku is tripped there by Ben White and earns a free kick. Doku immediately says to Mr. Barrett he thinks there should be a further consequence there to Ben White, referee not having any of that. Perhaps one critique, and there weren't too many criticisms of Arsenal in their fantastic title-winning season last time out, was that maybe it was just a little bit too organised at times, that there was room to take the brakes off a bit more, but perhaps they're showing they can do that. As now here comes Calafiore, once again arrives at the box and plays it out on the left to Solis. Solis puts the ball in towards the centre, but Donnarumma is able to catch comfortably at his near post, and the Italian, dressed in a sort of olive green, claims comfortably at the near post. Donnarumma biding his time now with the ball at his feet. I presume he's going to clear long. He does go through in the centre. Haaland knocks it forward, looking for the run of Jeremy Doku. Doku, though, unable to get past Ben White. Mosquera coming in to help out there, but the ball goes straight back towards Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly coming forward on the near side, then plays to Doku. Doku fighting his way through, but he can't get past the English right back. Ben White knocks it out for a throw. O'Reilly takes the throw, throws back to Guardiol. Guardiol edging further towards the box, plays the ball into Kovacic. And you wonder, is Kovacic with the weight of replacing the role of the Spanish MVP in this competition? Rodri, of course, taking his nation to victory, wearing the captain's armband for his nation. Oh, it's given away once again, and now Ødegaard can come through here at pace, right through the centre. He's got options in front of him. It's 3 versus 2. Ødegaard plays the ball back towards Madueke. Madueke tries to cut inside. He just lost a little bit of pace there, Madueke, as Ødegaard's pass was behind him, but now City can break. Phil Foden running down here through the middle, plays it off to his left to Jeremy Doku. Doku arriving into the box now. Doku still going. Will he be able to take the shot? Has to pass it backwards, and that's given to Ødegaard, who's in the perfect position there to take hold of defensive duties. Wonderful work tracking back from Ødegaard. He gives the ball to Calafiori. Calafiori racing high up the pitch, played on the left to Solis. Solis coming through into the box, unable though to get past Kusanov. And now Elliot Anderson will try and help the clearance on the go, find Semenyo. It's been end-to-end so far in this game, end-to-end and resulting in a goal. Jeremy Doku now just inside the City attacking half. Doku plays the ball back to O'Reilly. O'Reilly to Kovacic in the centre. Now to Phil Foden. Phil Foden to Anderson. Anderson plays back to Kusanov. City just passing the ball in and around the halfway line at this point as they try and prize open a bit of space to stun the Gunners supporters who are singing, as you might expect, North London Forever. Among the chants, the Blue Moon songs have been quieted for now. Foden plays the ball back to Diaz. Diaz back into Phil Foden. City forced back to the halfway line and have to go all the way back to Donnarumma, who's already had a fair bit to do in this first half, including picking the ball out of his net. No action required so far from David Raya in the Arsenal goal. His defenders have been able to mute any attempts to get forward so far from Manchester City. Of course, there are 2 previous winners of this competition on the benches for both sides. Mark Gay was the Crystal Palace captain when they won last year. Eberechi Eze, who's also on the bench for Arsenal, was in that side too. Both of them having minutes slightly managed as they return from their respective national teams. Jeremy Doku on the halfway line, unable to get through, has to pass the ball back to Kovacic, who plays it out on the right-hand side, where Antoine Semenyo will pick it up. Semenyo driving down the far side through the channel, trying to get past Calafiori. He does get through him, then turns round. Semenyo turns the ball back to Anderson. Anderson puts the ball in towards the centre. It's headed away by Gabriel for now, but only out as far as Guardiol. Guardiol, considering his options outside the edge of the box, has the possibility of going to Kovacic, he said. Tries to put it towards the back post where Semenyo's making a run. Not too happy with himself though for that ball. Guardiol, who could have perhaps had it a little bit closer to the run of Doku. It just goes behind Doku and out harmlessly for a goal kick. And I think this is the first thing that the Spanish goalkeeper has had to do in the entire into a bit of a tricky situation, and Donnarumma's subsequent clearance goes all the way back to Ben White, who's more than had on the halfway line. Odegaard plays the ball to Madueke, a little bit behind Madueke, then means he has to go back and play the ball to Ben White. Now into Guimaraes. Odegaard once again on the right-hand side to Madueke. Madueke plays the ball back to Odegaard. Odegaard coming through to the centre, then turns back to Gabriel. Gabriel goes left to Luis Kelly. Gabriel once again, the big Brazilian defender, linking up with Mosquera, who will have to be in action at the centre of the Arsenal defence for at least a couple of months while Saliba is on the treatment table. That is certainly a loss for the Gunners. Here is Guimaraes. That's a lovely ball on the right-hand side to Madueke. Madueke coming inside into the box. Madueke puts the ball in the centre, and it's turned behind for a corner by Josep Guardiol. And that's a very important defensive intervention by the Manchester City man. That was a dangerous ball in by Madueke. Certainly going to cause problems to the Arsenal, the City defence, I should say. Dealt with quickly by Guardiola. But now Arsenal have their first corner of the game. No Declan Rice to take it. It will be Madueke over it, but we know how dangerous the Gunners are from these set-piece occasions. Madueke on the near side, ready to take the corner with what will presumably be the in-swinging ball. Madueke swings it in towards the centre, headed on, out to Odegaard on the edge of the box. Odegaard plays back to Madueke. Another opportunity here for Madueke to put the ball inside the box. He does, and he picks out Ben White. Ben White unable, however, to get past Semenyo. And it goes out for a corner. Looked like Ben White was going to let it run for a throw, but even better, it goes for a corner for the Gunners here, who have certainly been the stronger side. A goal to the good, and a much, much stronger start to this game from the North London 11. As this time, Martin Odegaard will be ready with the out-swinging corner. Plenty of options for him to pick out inside the box. There's a number waiting beyond the far post here. Odegaard's ball towards the back post. Gabriel is pushed down in the box there, and Gabriel believes that he won a penalty. He goes immediately to Sam Barrett, claiming of a foul in the box. Sam Barrett having none of it. Just Kusanov, who catches some of his shirt. Arteta immediately indicating to the fourth officials as well that he thinks there was some shirt pulling there. The officiating team, though, saying no, and I don't think there really was anything worthy of further intervention required there. There's a little bit of coming together between the Brazilian and Kusanov in the box, but he has not too much of a case there. And now Nico O'Reilly receives the ball from his goalkeeper, the Englishman. Runs the ball backwards and then passes to Donnarumma. Donnarumma holds the ball under his feet, and he goes to his left once again. This time it's to Guardiola, who's come over on the left-hand side. Plays in the centre to Foden. Foden goes back to O'Reilly. City not finding a way to come forward, so they have to turn backwards this time. Ruben Dias. Dias now into O'Reilly, who's right over in the middle, and then coming over on the right-hand side. So I'm not sure if Maresca's already orchestrated some kind of tactical shift here, but it looks like Guardiola currently is much more over on the left-hand side, and O'Reilly's fitting into the centre. That'd be a surprising change, to say the least. Played through now to Phil Foden. Phil Foden goes back to Diaz, this time looking for Anderson, who is dispossessed there by Luis Skelly. City forced once again to rebuild from their own half, and they are making mistakes as they do so, but now they'll try and run the ball forward from the halfway line. Options as they come forward. Kovacic plays the ball to Nico O'Reilly, who's still there in that central position. The slight opportunity for a counter-attack has now been blunted as Arsenal get themselves firmly back into their very well-organised defensive position. Semenyo. Will he find options in front of him? Tries to turn around and then passes back to Kusanov. Kusanov goes back to Diaz. Diaz over to Guardiola. Guardiola looks for options in front of him. Picks out Kovacic, who knocks it back to Kusanov. Kusanov with the ball over top. Looking here for the run of Foden getting forward. And a little bit too much on that one. And he'll go behind for a goal kick. And it's the second time that we've seen a City attempted ball over the top, just a little bit too heavily weighted, allowing Arsenal an easy goal kick as we approach the 15-minute mark of this tie, with Arsenal currently leading by a goal to nil. Calafiore clears long down the pitch. Donnarumma will come to the edge of his area to collect that one happily, and then he rolls it out to Guardiol. Really don't feel I've said the name of Erling Haaland too much at all in these opening stages. Hasn't had much service in towards him whatsoever. Kusanov knocks the ball forward to Anderson. Anderson keeps it in play nicely on the far side and links up with Semenyo, who goes back to Kusanov. Now in towards the centre to Kovacic. Kovacic goes back to Guardiol. Guardiol finds Doku in space on the near side. Doku running against Ben White and Madueke, who's dropping into that defensive position. And that's very much part of the Arsenal shape, to have the likes of Madueke and Solis, who will need to learn that as well, to drop back into those defensive positions. Foden with a nice ball to Elliot Anderson. Anderson with the ball in the centre. He was looking for Haaland there. A little bit too pacey, the ball though from Anderson. But he does get a thumbs up from the Norwegian. It's a nice, well-hit ball actually from Elliot Anderson. And Doku nearly able to pick it up as well before it went behind for a goal kick. That's the best we've seen so far in Manchester City, and that's not saying that much, I have to be honest with you folks. If you are here listening to us as a Manchester City supporter, you'll be hoping to hear a little bit of an improvement as we get into the next stage of this first half. Gabriel plays the ball forward to Lewis Skelly. Skelly trying to find the run of Solis. Dealt with though by Kusanov, who gives the ball into Guardiol. Now to Anderson. Anderson with the ball forward to Foden, who's allowed to turn. And then passes out to Semenyo on the far side. The former Bournemouth man plays back to Anderson. Anderson dribbles the ball inside and then knocks it back to Diaz. Over to Guardiol now. This time into Kovacic. Kovacic plays the ball through in towards the centre. Foden will try and chase it down, but Mosquera is able to get there before him and then knocks it to his left to Gabriel. Gabriel turns the ball back to his keeper, and City now just starting to exert a little bit more pressure. Arsenal just finding it a bit more difficult at the moment to get out of their own half. Ben White knocks in to Skelly. Lewis Skelly with the ball in the centre, hands it over to Gabriel, who goes back to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly with the ball through the middle to Ben White, a little bit too heavily weighted there by Lewis Skelly. Nico Gonzalez mops it up and passes it back to his goalkeeper, who then plays the ball out to Kovacic in the centre. Now to Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson, that's a lovely pass through to Phil Foden. Phil Foden can run here. Foden still going through midfield, and a nice pass forward to Semenyo. Semenyo, will he be able to find a cross? Instead, turns backwards to Anderson. Anderson goes back to Kusanov. Kusanov into Diaz. Not looking just yet to find anybody in the box, City. Back to Kusanov, who knocks forward to Semenyo. Semenyo turns back to Kusanov, and you wonder, why did City not try to find a ball into the box there? They're lacking just a little bit of urgency, considering they are a goal down as we approach the 20-minute mark. Semenyo now, that's a lovely ball to Foden. Foden from outside the box with the shot. Raya saves, and it's parried out, but an opportunity for Raya to Haaland. And David Raya gets down to his right and makes a brilliant save there to deny Erling Haaland from close range. In fact, it's a two-save situation as O'Reilly does really well to recover the ball after Foden's shot is saved first by David Raya, diving to his right. Nico O'Reilly keeps the ball in play. Haaland has a shot from close range, and it's an excellent save from David Raya, who's actually going to be awarded a free kick in the process there. We'll try and catch exactly what the cause of the free kick was there. But that is still very, very good goalkeeping from the Spaniard to deny Manchester City on two occasions. But the citizens have now woken up in this game. It took them a while, didn't it, to get going, but they are now firmly out of second gear and up and running. This is where Arsenal, you think, could really do with a second goal as well, just to make sure they can abate the City threat as Havertz is caught there. On the near side, he's down clutching his head. It's Kovacic who catches him. Just a little bit late there, Mateo Kovacic. No cards as yet from referee Sam Barrett. Ben White here on the near side, getting himself ready to take the free kick. He passes back to Mosquera, who in turn passes along the line to Gabriel, and he then goes to Calafiore. Calafiore running down that left-hand side, picks up Solis. They play the 1-2 together. Now back inside to Luis Skelly. Lovely ball over him, a right-hand side. That'll find Madueke in acres of space on the near side. Madueke dribbling in towards the box, using his feet really well here. Madueke still going, twisting and turning past Semenyo. Madueke still, eventually, Nico O'Reilly stands in his way. But that's a lovely little give and go. Now is another opportunity for Arsenal to play the ball in the centre. It was Guimaraes who picked up the ball, couldn't find a teammate though. Another opportunity here with Madueke on the corner of the box. Plays the ball in towards the centre to Luis Skelly. He plays out to Guimaraes. Guimaraes with the ball in towards the centre now, looking for the arriving Kai Havertz, but instead goes towards the grateful gloves of the Italian shot stopper, who's there in the perfect position to take advantage. But Arsenal are themselves coming back into a pressure cooker here. It's lovely footwork, it has to be said, from Noni Madueke there to keep that attack going. And now the ball is played long. Jeremy Doku down here on the near side. This could be really dangerous for Manchester City. Doku coming inside the box. Doku still going here, trying to play it into the centre. But that is excellent defending by Gabriel, who makes himself big, gets in the way of Doku, and he receives multiple high fives there from his teammates. That is really superlative defending from Gabriel. What a player he is. What a season in store for him, who makes sure that Jeremy Doku can't put the ball into the box, because that would have been a really dangerous opportunity if he picks out a certain you-know-who. Elliot Anderson will take the corner here on the near side for the Citizens. You know who he's going to aim for, don't you? Anderson with the ball towards the back post. Semenyo tries to get for it, but David Raya does excellently there to jump high, make himself big, and make the catch in the air. And that is solid work. In the meantime, Phil Foden picked up a yellow card for a foul off the ball. And that is just because as Solis tried to run away to pick up a quick clearance from the goalkeeper, he is hauled to the ground by Phil Foden. Phil Foden saying, "Welcome to England, son." Or Wales, I should say, in this case. And he earns himself his name in the referee's book. Not perhaps what he was hoping for on his return to the starting lineup in Enzo Maresco's team, as David Raya takes the free kick, headed on by Havertz, trying to find him once again in the centre. Manchester City managing to clear right now, but only as far as Gabriel. City looking again to get themselves clear. Elliot Anderson playing the ball in the direction of Haaland, but Mosquera stands in front of him and manages to stab a pass back to his goalkeeper. That's also solid defensive work by Mosquera. And now Guimaraes will try and take the ball forward. Plays over to the right-hand side where his captain gladly picks it up. Now goes back to Ben White. Plays it short this time to Guimaraes. Then goes back to Gabriel. Gabriel looks to dribble towards the halfway line before pivoting to Luis Skelly, who's under pressure from Haaland, forced to go back to Gabriel, now into Mosquera. Mosquera knocks the ball forward here to Ødegaard. Ødegaard turns well and then passes to Ben White. White knocks forward to Madueke. Madueke has to go backwards with a pass a little bit too heavily weighted, but Ødegaard just about brings it under his spell. And this time, Arsenal will come forward from within their own half once again. 25 minutes played here at the Principality in Cardiff, where Arsenal lead after a 25-second goal by Calafiore. Before Manchester City had really had their coffee, Arsenal had struck. And now White with a lovely ball knocked forward to Madueke. This could be really dangerous if Madueke gets hold of it. But Guardiol comes over brilliantly, and I have to say, Some of the defensive interventions have been absolutely superb so far in this game. This time it's the turn of Josep Guardiola to get in the way. Here's Mosquera now, knocks it forward to Guimaraes. Guimaraes to Ødegaard. Ødegaard with the ball over the top, looking for Ben White, but Ben White won't be able to keep that one in play. And behind it goes for a goal kick to Manchester City. It has been a fascinating affair so far, folks. Finals don't always live up to the occasion, do they, in terms of goals? And there are questions, is this really a final? But I'm sure if you're a Manchester City or a Gunners fan right now, it is a final and you will gladly take the trophy. Start the season. The symbolism of silverware before the season begins, and now Phil Foden running forward, doing really well. Picks out Doku on the near side. Jeremy Doku turning inside, plays into Foden, can't pick him out with the pass. That was a big opportunity. Had the pass been a little bit more accurate there from Doku. As now the Gunners come forward, Ødegaard in the centre. Passes the ball right to Madueke. Madueke coming up against his compatriot Nico O'Reilly. Madueke getting past him here. Drives the ball towards the byline. And then does well to turn the ball back to Ben White. White into the centre to Luis Skelly. Skelly back over to Madueke on the near side. Madueke considers his options, passes it short to Ødegaard. Ødegaard from the edge of the ball, plays the ball towards the far post. It's going to be headed on, and it's another opportunity, and Arsenal have made it two! And would you believe it? The Gunners have absolutely taken command of this affair. This time it's the turn of Kai Havertz to turn it in. And it is red flag galore here in Cardiff. Kai Havertz makes it a second. It's another goal all too easy for the North London 11. Madueke starts the move off on the right-hand side. Plays it into Ødegaard, who then decides to go over to the left. Solis will get the assist there. Just a simple head forward to Kai Havertz, who heads it down really well, and Donnarumma makes a real meal of that. It's headed down and with power by Havertz. But Donnarumma dives down. He gets part of his glove on it. As he gloves it, he sort of gloves it into his laterals. I think that's the name for that type of muscle. And it hits his body as he dives down. And that is not the best of starts for the Italian. 2 conceded. Just 29 minutes gone. An assist already for the debutant. A goal for Kai Havertz. A goal for Calafiori. It's Arsenal 2, Manchester City 0, and Enzo Maresca is not getting the start he wants. As City try to release the runner Haaland, Gabriel stands excellently in his way. Ødegaard now knocks the ball back to White. And one thing that really stood out in that goal by Arsenal was just how well they switched up play. They were working an angle on the right-hand side. Madueke doing really well down that right-hand channel. He played it into Ødegaard, and Ødegaard just had that excellent vision. He got his head up. He saw the space on the left. He played a beauty of a ball over to Solis. And Solis knew exactly what he had to do, and he knew exactly where Kai Havertz was as well in the centre. And Havertz, it's a very well-taken finish because he is close to the goalkeeper, but he knows to head it down, and he heads it down well. And although it looks like an error by Donnarumma, it has to be said, it's a very good piece of centre-forward play by Kai Havertz. It's exactly, in fact, what you'd expect Erling Haaland to be doing, except it's not Haaland, it's Havertz who's been afforded the opportunity. And with just over 15 minutes remaining of the first half,
in there. Arsenal 2, Manchester City 0. So Raya to thread the ball forward to Urs Karafuori. So now with Diaz. Now towards Donnarumma. Donnarumma now. That far side, he's got to keep his eye on the ball, he does. Now towards Anderson, trying to spray it long, and Raya's come out of goal. He uses his left foot. Also look composed. You know, with Saka, Gyökeres and Rice on the field, coming back. See Merino and Zubimendi also all on the bench for Arsenal. Martinelli, who's been involved in this pre-season, sort of build-up pre-season for Arsenal, not in the squad. Ethan Nwaneri not in the squad. Maybe hinted to maybe moves away for Arsenal. And, it's a foul. With been committed by Bruno Guimaraes pulling Doku. In the end, it was White who committed the foul. Guardiola now in field towards Doku. Doku outside the centre circle. He plays the ball here to Haaland. Haaland on his right foot. And he just couldn't get the angle right. Always running, just took a few touches. And it's a scruffy finish from the Norwegian, but that's what City need to do. Get him on the ball more. Get him moving. We'll have a chance always with that number 9. Wonderful player. Fastest player to get into 100 Premier League goals. Did that last December, last season. Erling Haaland, top goal scorer, of course, last campaign again for Manchester City. Raya plays the ball forward towards Bruno Guimaraes. He gives it away. City do get it, but he's only cleared by Kuzanov for a throw on the far side. With the long throw going towards Havertz. Now it's set to by Anderson. Now play to Ødegaard. Nice side football to Madueke, who's onside here. He's up against Guardiola. He's in the penalty area. He's got Ødegaard. He goes for goal rather than trying to play it to Solis or Martin Ødegaard. And the flag does eventually go up. And I mean, really, we could have had that ages ago. It was a clear offside because everybody was inside Arsenal's half, other than Noni Madueke. So, I understand why they have to let play go on, etc. But clear ones like that, especially so soon at the beginning of the season, you have to maybe look to keep the play down, the flag down. Full time in the Championship, Watford 2, Southampton 1. We'll have selective audio commentaries across the EFL Championship campaign, and you can read up on match reports, live text, and of course all the statistics for the EFL this campaign on the Flash Score app. As Arsenal sweep forward again. Havertz, Solis is in the penalty area now, waits for Karafuori. It's just below him. All player goes down, and there is a yellow card for Karafuori for diving. No penalty for the Italian. I think he's pleading that he doesn't want a penalty. He's just played the ball out. He's kicked it forward and he drops, but he's saying no one's touched it. And it's Arsenal 2, Manchester City 0. Just there, so it's just a bit slow. The new Arsenal winger on the left side maybe could have showed more adventure going for goal himself rather than waiting for the fullback. Of course, that could have been a tactical decision from Arsenal to play that way. He looks sharp and fit. Looks like he's had a good pre-season. He opened the score inside 23 seconds, of course. Donnarumma. Played up now towards Gotic. Foden. Ball's played up towards Anderson. Anderson looking towards O'Reilly over the halfway line. It's found its way towards Anderson. Anderson now looking towards Kuzanov. Kuzanov looking up. Now back towards Semenyo. Semenyo, a few step overs from the former Bournemouth man, made the move to City in January. Here's Anderson. Now looks towards Diaz. Kuzanov. Now to Semenyo. So lay back, it's with Anderson who flick the ball back towards Doku. Doku, lovely touch. Beautiful, just blasted it. Haaland, good save from Raya. And Arsenal are able to clear it away. And when he's needed, Arsenal's number one is always there. Really good work from City. And they're still on the attack inside the penalty area. It's now with Semenyo approaching the byline. It pulls out to Doku, good block. And Arsenal are showing those strong defensive credentials that earned them that 14th league English title last campaign. The very best in the business when it comes to defending, and we've seen the best of Arsenal's defence in both those last City attacks. A good block from Ben White inside the 6-yard box and a super save from Raya, because it's harder on Russian on his left foot. He has to go down on his right and make the save. He's also going to get a good right hand. We saw with Arsenal's second goal how handling can be difficult for goalkeepers, with Donnarumma being poor. Ball comes in from Anderson, which is headed out by Kai Havertz comfortably. Now it's with Kovacic. Kovacic, low shot. Goalkeeper saves it well. Referee really got in the way a little bit. 5 to go. It's been a good Community Shield. It's been played at a good speed and a good pace, especially from an Arsenal perspective. Raya. Back towards Mosquera. Mosquera now back towards Raya. Uses left foot. Oh, good ball. Inside the centre circle now to Solis. Solis now to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard looking towards Madueke. Madueke will go for goal and just didn't remote gather it. I think it will be pleasing for Arsenal. It feels like a performance where they're beating Man City. It sounds... last season they didn't beat Manchester City. They drew 1-1 at the Emirates. That was the first time they played in the Premier League. A late Marseille equaliser saved them from defeat. They then lost to City in April at the Etihad. They lost to City, of course, at Wembley in the League Cup. So a win here for the psychology of going into the season as champions, to be able to get one over a Manchester City that doesn't have Pep Guardiola, doesn't have Bernardo Silva. Will do a world of good for Arsenal. Jack Grealish, who's come back from his loan at Everton last season, has been able to be shipped away. He's warming up for Manchester City. You do have a handful of players who do fall out of favour, goes under the radar. Some players that don't work out for Manchester City, of course. Reinders is a player that is looking to leave. A move to Saudi has been mooted. Here's Madueke for Arsenal. 42 gone on the clock, and they lead by 2, the Premier League champions. Madueke throws the ball to White, to the far stick. Look towards Calafiori, should be 3. Had a clear view on his left foot, on rushing onto the ball, had time to settle it. He dropped into the board, it went higher. Mikel Arteta's team have been the better side, and almost the cherry on top of the cake right at the end of this first half. Man City just have to be better defending. The 6s and 7s, the shape doesn't look good enough. They don't seem to be able to pick what Arsenal are doing. When he comes, no one goes. They ball watch. 2 goes for the ball, when he gives it to White. We saw that with the second goal with Martin Odegaard. In the pause on the left side, it's so easy to switch play for Arsenal at the moment. That'll be the real concern for Maresca, is that defensively they look very, 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 very poor. It's Arsenal 2, Manchester City 0 as it stands here in the Community Shield. Don't expect too much time added on here in Cardiff. It's Donnarumma. He's the right foot looking towards Haaland. Goes long towards Toku's up against Mosquera. Good challenge for Mosquera. Yeah, corner down this near side. So for the fourth quarter of the game for Manchester City, can they pull themselves back into the game? If they are going to claim another Community Shield win, they're going to have to get back into the game and score first. And a free kick's been given for a foul on David Raya. So it will be a free kick to Arsenal, who survive another City set play. Raya reaches the ball forward in hope of Havertz. There's a good header there by Kovacic. Bruno Guimaraes goes back all the way to his goalkeeper in Raya. Goes up long looking now, and with Kuznov headed away by Anderson. Here's Foden. Looking towards Gabriel. Guimaraes, Lewis Skelly. Nice down to Ødegaard. Nearly trying to thread it through to Havertz. City again, ball watching. So much ball watching that midfield. Anderson and Kovacic. There's no fluidity. And sure, Maresca will change things at half time. It has to change shape. Use this time. Because at the moment they are not looking comfortable as we've seen at City over the years. Of course, it's an obvious change. And the dugout, here is Solis, plays it back to Havertz, free weight in the middle, Donnarumma's balls falling towards Ødegaard, cleared off the line by Gardeval, still alive here for Arsenal. Bruno Guimaraes in the penalty area, trying to go for goal, was blocked, headed out by Kovacic, and it's like slow motion from Manchester City, who are playing to the whistle. We feel that it should have been an offside, but Havertz was clearly on. Arsenal 2, Manchester City 0. We're in added time, and Ødegaard just couldn't have the crisp pass in there. Here is Anderson. Floats the ball now to Foden. Arsenal 2, Manchester City 0. Towards Kuznov. And that is half time in the Community Shield. Live from the Principality Stadium. And it's Arsenal that have the advantage at the break. Inside the first minute, 23 seconds in fact. Ricardo Calafiori, after a fantastic through ball from Lewis Skelly, who's clean through, sent Donnarumma the wrong way, and Arsenal were on their way in this game. 28th minute, it was Havertz who doubled Arsenal's lead. Donnarumma should have done better in the Manchester City goal. City haven't been good in this first half. They're adjusting to life after Pep Guardiola. They still have an opportunity to get back into this game if they can score the next goal, but Arsenal, the new Premier League champions, 2026 champions, have full control of this Community Shield game, are in fantastic shape to win it at this stage at half-time. Calafiori and Havertz with the goals. Arsenal 2, Manchester City 0 at the break, and we'll be back for full audio commentary of the second half. Semenyo, Foden, Haaland and Jack Grealish off the left. City shooting from left to right. Donnarumma has the ball at the moment for the FA Cup and League Cup winners, trying to find Jack Grealish, which is fascinating, isn't it? Because Jack Grealish is a player who was out of favour with Guardiola. He's come back out of the cold. Potentially could still be sold. Of course, the transfer window doesn't end until the 2nd of September. Guardiola. It's outside the penalty area. It's 32 towards Donnarumma. Donnarumma, right foot ball high. Looking now towards Mosquera. Mosquera out, looking to wriggle away, and it's found its way towards Guardiola. Guardiola out. Now to Diaz. Diaz back towards Guardiola. He plays it through. It's intercepted by Rice. Good work there from Declan Rice. He's headed out. And then it's so nice for Anderson, but he's going the wrong way. He's actually given the ball away. Here's Havertz. Into the centre circle, goes for Lewis Skelly, who's able to spread the ball out to Solis. First time we've seen him stretch his legs in the second half. Oh, Odegaard's in for free, and it will be free. He sits Donnarumma on his knees, and the Arsenal captain makes it 3. That's wonderful. Really good work from the youngster Solis, the new Arsenal signing coming in. The question is always with wingers, can they find an end product? He can. Puts the ball low in, and then it slipped on towards Odegaard, who took it away from the defenders, and then Donnarumma just sat down really on his backside, and Odegaard was able to just caress the ball a few yards away from the goal. It's a statement from Arsenal that we are the champions. It's our time now, and we waited 22 years to lift the famous trophy back in May. We're not going to let go of it easily. Someone's got to take it away from us, and it's that type of performance. 3-0 does not flatter the newly crowned Premier League champions. Arteta put his hands in the air. Maresca watches away as Martin Odegaard and co wheel away in celebrations. Just defensively, City at 6 and 7s, holding their line, not pressing the ball. It's making it easier for teams, Arsenal today, to have really capitalised. Semenyo for Foden. Pull back to Anderson inside the penalty. He'll go for goal. He'll lash it over the bar. The 116 million signed it. Trying to make an impact there, but fell short and wayward. More City changes incoming. It's been 453 days since Man City saw Jack Grealish play. Can't afford it. Gahey and Omar Mamusha about to come onto the field here at the moment. Donnarumma moves it out now towards Kuzanov. Here's Foden. Guardiola. Conchid foul there. Now back to Semenyo. He's just onside. Diaz. Midfield now to Guardiola. Donnarumma. Midfield now to Wars. I mean, this is a scoreline I don't think many would have predicted. We know that Arsenal are strong champions But a lot of the criticisms for them is their aggression, intensity, goals outside, set plays. They scored 3 goals from open play. There's a real aggression, hunger to the game. Also, just looking at it's a damning scoreline for Manchester City. It really is in a new era, in a new period of their club. No more Guardiola at the helm. How will they adjust to that? They know very well, very closely what happens when you lose a very good manager. You have to look across the road to Manchester United. Here's Semenyo, they put a low ball in. O'Reilly's in the penalty area. Odegaard's giving the ball back to his goalkeeper, Raya. Raya just takes 2 touches before hoofing it out of the danger area. Does fall back to Kuzanov. He's finding himself more in the central play. Here's Kovacic. Here's the ball back to Kuzanov. Kuzanov now down the right now towards Doku. To Semenyo, sorry. Semenyo now in field towards Kovacic. Cardwell. In field towards Grealish. Grealish outside the penalty area. Kovacic now. Kuzanov. Semenyo in field to Foden. And Guardiola has been booked. Havertz. Anderson, is he about to be replaced? Omar Mamouche is about to come on. It's Haaland. No surprise to see that Haaland is going to be replaced. He's only come back to training in recent weeks. So Haaland off, Mamouche on. Kind of signals where City's heads are at the moment. And Haaland's being substituted. But so Omar Mamouche is on. And Nico O'Reilly is coming off. And onto the field comes Guéhi. It's interesting to see where Guéhi comes on and what formation we see. Is this a change to a back 3? Will Kovacic play at left back? Interesting to see, or would Guardiola just shepherd it to the left side? So Raya playing the ball forward. Well, it's Guéhi and Diaz in the centre back position, and then Guardiola, who's now going to play from a left back position, and so Kuzanov on the 4. So Guéhi on the ball, former former Crystal Palace captain, on the FA Cup back-to-back years of 2 different clubs, won it last year, and then this year he won the Community Shield for Crystal Palace last year, and they beat Liverpool on penalties. It's with Diaz floating the ball to right. I think he'll be winning the Community Shield this season, and City come out and create a comeback here. Anderson's on the ground, a bit of pain. It's now falling towards Grealish. Grealish is in the penalty area here for Man City. There's a real concern about Anderson, who's come up to his feet. Now he's hobbling, and here's Odegaard and Anderson just taking Odegaard away. He's not happy whatsoever. He believes there should have been a foul there. It's Lewis Skinny. Ooh, what is the ankle? It's a horrible challenge. That's one where I'm surprised that Elliot Anderson has. Oh, it's horrible because he's fallen down on Elliot Anderson's ankle, but it's slid, and maybe sometimes with the actual slid in the surface, it can help and not have a break or a fracture. Here's Grealish. Finds a bit of room now to Foden. Foden now to Anderson. Anderson scooping this straight towards Raya. It's very late from Lewis Skelly. He's lucky to be on the field, for being honest. It was a dreadful challenge. Gabriel to Mosquera to Lewis Skelly. Nice little turn there by Lewis Skelly. Rice in the field to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard back to Rice. A little bit of room now for Gabriel. Gabriel back to Martin Odegaard. Calafiori. Now back to Odegaard. Odegaard goes the ball out to Havertz. He's taking his time. He's strong challenge there. Coming in from Kuzanov. Referees his play on. Some physicality into it. City he's got to play it, and Havertz then clips Phil Foden on his way there. Cherki and Rico Lewis is about to come on to the field. There's Kuzanov. Goes long towards Mamouche. Mamouche back now towards Gardewell. Gardewell inside. Foden scuffs his effort. Before he plays it back to Ryan. Ryan just siphots it left-footed, looking towards Solis. Solis now goes over the halfway line. It finds its way now towards Donnarumma, and more changes will be on its way. Don't they elect to take the throw in quickly, Manchester City. Kovacic. Here's Gahey. Towards Kovacic. Kovacic now back to Kuzanov. Kuzanov infield to Foden inside Arsenal's half. He shepherds the ball to the left, looking towards Anderson. Anderson now to Semenyo. Semenyo. Now back 20 yards out. These are towards Diaz. Ruben Diaz. Now to Gahey. Now City just probing. Here's Grealish. Low socks against Ben White. Jack Grealish, he takes a little turn and that's got place to left him in Gahey. Goes back now towards Kovacic. Kovacic now, heavy touch from Mamouche. Just sprinkles out of his right boot. Finds a bit of way now to Foden. Foden glides the ball into the Cardiff sunshine where Grealish is operating. Traditional shirts, of course, this afternoon. Arsenal in their red and white and red socks. As a cross comes in looking towards Gardewell, and he wants a corner, doesn't get one. And it will be a goal kick as we approach the hour mark. Just need to, that's something that's been lacking in Manchester City's play, the intensity. Now it's time for City changes. So Phil Foden, he's had 60 minutes to impact the game. Don't feel like that's been possible. Same with Elliot Anderson. These are key men for City, you imagine, moving forward into this new era. Cherki's also somebody you'll expect to play an influential role if City are going to be as dominant under Maresca as they were under Pep Guardiola. Onto the field comes Nketiah, who made his loan move to Arsenal from Bayer Leverkusen, permanent in the summer, and also a fan favourite of Arsenal's. Bukayo Saka, who featured in and out of England's team in the World Cup, has come onto the field. So 2 changes each, with Foden and Anderson coming off. Rehan Cherki on, and Rico Lewis is on also. Skelly's just holding his ankle. He's come up the field. Semenyo picks him up. No Maweki's come off, and so is Calafiori. So Saka's on. Nketiah is on. Arsenal gloating on their incredible defensive numbers. Of course, Saliba and Timber. Timber further on his recovery, but they touch and go for Friday. I wouldn't imagine seeing Timber. Saliba out for minimum a couple more weeks, if not 2 months. Here's Cherki, referees. Oh, it's just miscommunication between Semenyo and Cherki. Well, you sometimes see score lines like this and you think, well, Arsenal have been brilliant, you know, Champions performance, and they have been good. You know, they've showed the very best of them offensively. But my lord, of City made it easy for Arsenal. Poor in every department, defensively, midfield and offensively. Goalkeeping's been shoddy in all 3 goals, and it's just not good enough. They look flat and need to have some energy. Cherki maybe could bring some flair. He backhills the ball now to Rico Lewis. Lewis on tilt now to Semenyo. Semenyo full to Cherki. Those two just haven't been connected, and you know, I wouldn't worry too much if you're a Manchester City supporter, because it's such a bad performance right now. You can't play like that for 38 weeks. You can't play like that for 9 months. It's going to take slow. It's going to take time, adjusted post-Pep Guardiola. But at the same time, this is the team that picked you to a league title. You've got to show a bit of heart, show a bit of fight. And it's just been lacking. And also tactically, it has been a real mess. For jumping, pressing, it doesn't make sense. 4 players are now pressing the Arsenal defenders, and Arsenal been able to get out of that quite easily through Rice and Lewis Skelly and Ødegaard. Ødegaard just evaded Rico Lewis like he's not there, and now Arsenal are moving across after the halfway line with a beautiful ball to Saka. Saka's first sprint in Arsenal red. He goes past Guardiola, it's like he's not there. It's a chance for number 4, and it hits the side netting. Just the difference in intensity is night and day between the two teams. City toying with their press. When Arsenal hit that off over the halfway line, they're able just to break. Wonderful skills for Martin Ødegaard. What he did, he just evaded Rico Lewis. He's just come onto the field, my ad. No excuses for Rico Lewis there. No excuses not to be aggressive enough for a player who's played 62 minutes. Then there's a foot race between Guardiola and Saka. You can forgive Guardiola. He's been playing the full 63 minutes or so. Saka's fresh, but he just pushes him down to the ground, and Saka's a clear, you know, run at goal. He's inside the penalty area, hits it first time, elects not to play it to Havertz. It hits the side netting. It's a dominant performance so far from Arsenal. 63 gone, Arsenal 3. Manchester City, you know, you listen to Flash Score, of course, where we covered across the domestic campaign in the UK and in Europe. Of course, the Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, audio commentaries all available all the way until May. Champions League returning, Europa League, Conference League returning in September. Audio commentaries and live texts and articles, match reports, all available from now on all the way until next summer. EFL season, of course, kicking off this weekend. Burnley 0, West Ham 1's the latest score. Burnley and West Ham both relegated from the Premier League last year. Watford 2, Southampton 1 was a full-time score earlier today. La Liga started, of course, this weekend without Barcelona and Real Madrid. Racing Santander 1 against Villarreal, 0 Espanyol against Levante. Also, remember to download the Flash Score app, wherever you get your apps from, if that will be from the Apple Store or Google Play. City have the ball inside Arsenal's penalty area. Semenyo heads it down, looking towards Rico Lewis. It's cleared away by Arsenal, and it's falling back towards Semenyo. He's just not been at it also. No, I'm not going to keep saying it, but it's a real surprise because there is a lot of quality in Manchester City's team. You look at, you know, Semenyo, Haaland, Kovacic, Diaz. You just expected more well-rounded performance. It's not something you expect from, you know, players that have been at the best and the top end of the Premier League. Mosquera and the ball forward. Well, Haaland was substituted in the 54th minute. The forward only registered 7 touches. It's not good at all. We know he doesn't need much to find the net, but needs to get your centre forward more in. Lewis Skelly now comes out towards Guardiola. Donnarumma. Back now to Guehi. Cherki. Back now to Semenyo. Semenyo now to Cherki inside Arsenal's half, finding the ball towards Rice. Rice now takes it back to Skelly, Lewis Skelly. Gabriel will take this free kick for Arsenal. Now it's back with White. White infield to Lewis Kelly. Solis. The slow ball. Sort of saved for the halfway line. Havertz. To Rice. Rice now. Now back to Havertz. He's made the ball back now to Gabriel. Oh, he's giving it away, Mosquera. And there is Kovacic. Couldn't find it forward towards Mamouche. Odegaard. Back to towards Mosquera. Back with Odegaard. Rice. Raya. That's the ball at the moment inside his own penalty area. Of course he would. Gabriel floats the ball now. Back to Hikapier. Be a throw-in down this near side. Semenyo takes the throw-in. Oh, Rico Lewis is doing his laces. It's now with Diaz. Diaz. Midfield now towards Kovacic. Lovely ball forward. Then it's now with Semenyo. City growing. All back behind Cherki. Here's Odegaard. Now he's Solis, able to have a bit of space to run into. The Arsenal side is up against Semenyo. And he gets the free kick. Semenyo just a bit clumsy going back there. Who doesn't think it's a foul? Semenyo. Free kick's taken and it's back with Arsenal on the back line. Mosquera. Now we field to Hincapié. Hincapié, the Ecuadorian. That's the ball on the left, he gives it to Rice. Rice down to Gabriel. Well, this week will mark the start of another Premier League season. Arsenal at home to Coventry. A week today, Manchester City will host Bournemouth. They actually got a bit of defending here in the short term. 4-2 was Odegaard. It's White approaching the penalty, a low ball in. Oh, Lewis Kelly. There's a homage there, and Grealish gets it a bit wrong, and the offside flag goes up, and it stays Arsenal 3, Manchester City 0. City will be hosting Bournemouth at home next week. Even Diaz. To Gahey. Have a look at the starts for both these clubs in the Premier League. As Kovacic drives forward for City. 3 different goal scorers for the Premier League champions. Started off in the first minute with Calafiori. Then there was Havertz in the 20th minute, and then Odegaard right at the start of the second half. Well, we know they take on Bournemouth at home next week. They then travel to Selhurst Park on the Friday night to take on new look Crystal Palace under Sedge. They host Coventry in September, just started September, just before travelling to Old Trafford. And then it's Sunderland at home before the international break, and they come back to take on Liverpool. So quite a mixed bag for Manchester City when it comes to their opening 5 games or so. They've got ball defending. Solis. Where's the ball now to Saka? Saka approaching the penalty area. Donnarumma's got to get there first, and he does. The Manchester City goalkeeper smothers the ball away. So Arsenal host Coventry on Friday night. They then have a 10-day break before travelling to the second city to take on Aston Villa, Europa League winners. Then they host Chelsea. They're away to Sunderland, and then they go away to Brighton. They return for a home game against Leeds after the international break. Once again, I think the Premier League this year, there's a lot of mixed, not many big top 6 games that we usually see. Not one big top 6 game at the start. Something that has been a feature, last few years. Last year, Arsenal started their Premier League season against Manchester United. City have had games against Chelsea also in the first days of the weekend last few seasons, but it seems more spread out, the bigger games. Cardwell for Manchester City, looking towards Grealish. So effort comes in, saved well by Raya. Kuzanov, Cherky, now to Ruben Diaz, now with Kovacic, threaded ball looking towards Semenyo, and it's gathered by Raya. So he looks a bit more lively in the second half, trying to get him on the ball. Well, Zubimendi and Viktor Gyökeres is going to come on for Arsenal as we enter the final 15 minutes. Odegaard. Mosquera. Into Rice. Lewis Skelly. Back now to Mosquera. Lewis Skelly. Rice infield towards Martin Odegaard. Odegaard, a fine game so far. Be interesting to see if he plays the full 90. Either him or Lewis Skelly that will depart for Zubimendi. Most likely Lewis Skelly's on the ball. He's lost out to Rico Lewis, and Odegaard thought he had won the ball back, but Lewis Skelly's hit the deck. And it will be Havertz to be replaced. He got the second. It's Odegaard's ball that was headed back by Solis, and there was Havertz to tap home via his head, and it ricocheted off. Donnarumma could have done a lot better. And Havertz off, and so is Lewis Skelly. Zubimendi on for Lewis Skelly and Gyökeres on for Havertz. Semenyo goes round a few Arsenal players outside the penalty area. Checks back now here to Gehi, got 3 around him, finds a bit of ball now to towards Semenyo, who's once again final ball lets him down, just plays it with too much aggression, and that will be gathered by Raya. Capia. Rice. How much of the mental battle that Arsenal had to face 4 times, finishing second before lifting the trophy in May, will that psychology edge now be with them? That pressure been released to play freely, to know that they won't bottle it again. The time of their critics would label it if they wouldn't win a trophy or not. They are the team to beat this year, head and shoulders better than the rest. If you look at the business been spent and said, you would back Arsenal to retain. Never retained the Premier League, never retained the title since the early 30s. Arsenal A chance to right that wrong, or write new history this campaign, of course, with renewed interest in their quest to finally win the European Cup / Champions League. It's with Grealish now into Guéhi. He's battling with Saka. Guéhi does well, goes past two, gives it to Cherki. Here's Semenyo, pokes it to Rico Lewis. There's a City player that's gone down in the middle. There's Josef Gordovot. Will be a corner kick. Here's Cherki. Just seeing what's there. It's a little tumble, a little push from White. Doesn't need to. Why is he holding his face? There's nothing to his face. It's just disappointing when footballers do that. Where they roll around holding their head, and all that's happened is he's been pushed over in the penalty box. Nothing too much. Force corner to be taken. No goal kick's been given now. So it's back with Kovacic. Trying to spread that ball long. And onto the field comes Nico Gonzalez for Kovacic. That's another change for Manchester City. Nkapia. Midfield to Gabriel. To Raya. Active forward, nice centre back. Now here's Solis. Now on to Saka. Saka's battling well from Guéhi. Refuses play on. Now Ødegaard. Now to Rice. Rice now to Nkapia. Nkapia bursting forward. Low ball in. Oh, Saka should have made it 4. Over the bar. Lovely work, and City really struggling a bit. Kuzanov doesn't look natural in his right back position. So much joy has come for Solis and Nkapia and Kalafuri when he was, playing in this all the left side. Arsenal's left side has been really strong. Finds the cross in, and then Saka's first time effort really should be 4. It's just gone over the bar. Gabriel on to towards Mosquera. Back towards Mosquera, who's stick this forward. Look towards Gay. He's up towards Gyökeres, but Gay's got in the way. Here is Cherki for Manchester City. Cherki back to Mamouche. Cherki edge of the penalty area. He's vying forward. Runs into. Oh, he's done really well. He's found Semenyo. Semenyo shoots. Great save, right. Right-footed effort there by Semenyo, and Raya smiling away. What a save from him. Incredible. Semenyo's warmed up in this half. Great work from Cherki, because he took a few Arsenal players for a ride there and ended up with a crucial pass to give the opportunity for Semenyo to have that shot. I think for now, City, they're merely playing for a consolation inside these last 10 minutes, but nearly getting that. Good well. Guéhi. Cherki. Diaz. Moves the ball towards Cordova, and it's just gone out of play. Arsenal 3, Manchester City 0. Well, work for Maresca to do. We know a lot of Manchester City players were at the World Cup. It's still pre-season, still in that early season feel. We need to be quick getting themselves up and running. Manchester City posting a new Bournemouth team. I think it's 12, is it? At least 8 new managers in the Premier League. 9, sorry, starting at a new club. Next weekend, you think about, of course, Maresca being one of them. And it's Bournemouth, Newcastle, Liverpool got new head coaches, Chelsea, of course, with Xavi Alonso, Crystal Palace. Rice, Odegaard, get towards White. White now to Saka. Saka's doing well, looks sharp, comes in field, uses left foot to spread the ball across to Nkapie. Nkapie now on towards Rice. Gabriel now towards Mosquera. There's the ball back towards Odegaard. Martin Odegaard outside the halfway line. In the Championship, still Burnley 0, West Ham 1, approaching half time there. Two sides that came down from the Premier League starting their race to come back into the season. It's one of the best challenge there for Martin Odegaard. He'll see a yellow card. And Grealish. And Odegaard is going to be replaced. That's his last involvement. Saka gets the armband. And he gets to use pause as Azat is going to come on for Arsenal. Villarreal pulled on back in their game in La Liga against Racing Santander. So 2-1 there in the opening weekend of La Liga. Kuzanov for Manchester City. Want to give their supporters a goal. I've travelled to Cardiff. It's ended up being a 3-0 whitewash as it stands. Cherki infield towards Diaz. Inside the centre circle now. Luis Diaz plays the ball towards the right side. Here's Semenyo. Semenyo up against Nkapie. Nice step overs. He does take a cross into the penalty area, which is blocked. Mustafi Diaz headed out by Mosquera. And it's find its way towards Guehi. Guehi now looking towards Jack Grealish. Grealish up against White. 2 on him. And he wants more help. He's pleading with his players. City all over the shop today. Semenyo can't even keep the ball in with his first touch that comes out. Just feels like everything is, trying to put something in a, I don't know what the right analogy is, if I'll be honest. But I just can't seem to find the answers for what Arsenal are asking them. But also, I don't think City are equipped for that. They're not pressing well, they're dropping off. Everything looks off. It's an iffy performance, and back to the drawing boards. Still hope. We are in August, not in May. But it's a hell of a job that Maresca's got to do. And still more signings incoming, with 116 million already spent through Elliot Anderson. Bawadi as a name, and of course Enzo Fernandez is also a name that they're floating, although the deadline, if you read some, has passed on that. City have a free kick just outside the penalty area. City fans are leaving the stadium. Some even crossed off their flags. They're taking off their banners, the City fans. Some have seen them in everything. Some remember the time where they were in League 2. It's a new chapter now for the blue team in Manchester. And see how they will adapt to life after Guardiola. At the moment, first signs of silverware, they are not taking it. Here's Cherki. He will swing this in right-footed. This goes towards the middle, looking towards Mamouche, headed out. Maresca's watching on, he hasn't sat down the whole game. Enzo Maresca left Chelsea New Year's Day. Had to pay a hefty compensation, Chelsea, to Manchester City to acquire. Sorry, City had to pay a huge compensation to Chelsea to acquire Enzo Maresca in the summer. It's quite a bit of a delay of the appointment being announced due to that. Here's Cherki for Manchester City. We are winding down to the end of the Community Shield here at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. Still 3, Manchester City 0. Dominant performance from the Premier League champions. Kuzanov now into Rico Lewis. Rice. Good battle there for Kuzanov. Kuzanov in field now, looking towards Cherki. Cherki plays the ball to the left side towards Gardewell. Gardewell now to Grealish. First time we're going to see Grealish 1-on-1 in white, and it's in the 88th minute. As he's come on, he's not been able to find the space. Now be battled by Bukayo Saka, and Saka does enough to get the better of it. Maybe a goal kick to Arsenal. Another top performance for Martin Odegaard. He's had a good pre-season so far. Forward back towards Guéhi. Grealish in the centre circle. Loftus to Mamouche. This could be a possible chance here for Manchester City. Oh, he's overran it. Goes in between Mosquera, but Gabriel's there to close the door. How big of a season do Arsenal need from Gabriel to think that they have another defender on a level it's the same as Gabriel, if not higher. Depends on what Arsenal fan you speak to, who they rate. They don't have to pit anyone against each other, but with the loss of Saliba, Gabriel will have to step up and be the leader he has been for Arsenal since joining back in 2021. Cherki. Good challenge there by Sos. We're into the 90th minute now. Don't expect too much added time. Lewis. He's been clipped there by Hincapié. Cherki gets the ball back to Lewis. Rico Lewis in field. And now is Gyökeres has been able to run. Good section, here's Guéhi. Goes full back now to Grealish. Defending forward, and now it's Mamouche. Can he get a shot off? He can only pass the ball to Semenyo edge of the penalty area. Semenyo might go for goal himself. He ignores Cherki, goes all the way to the other side of the penalty area. Then he finds Mamouche in the penalty area. Cherki wants the ball, gets it. Here is Cherki, a few step overs, low ball into the middle. Semenyo tried to back heel it. And he's definitely been City's best player in the game, and he's only been on for 20 minutes. Ryan Cherki, what a wonderful talent there, twisting and turning as we enter the final minutes of this Community Shield. Rico Lewis, 3 minutes added on at the end of this game. City have the possession at the moment. They're going long towards Mamouche. And Mosquera has just challenged Mamouche. It'll be a free kick to Manchester City late on. Just watching on and a bit confused. Well, it'll be interesting to see how he views the game. More questions will be on Deb. Arsenal, the statement is clear. If you want to come and take the Premier League title off us, you're going to have to be very good. Arsenal showing their offensive credentials as much as their superb defensive credentials this afternoon, the Community Shield. Now, not many teams have won the Community Shield and won the league title over the years. There is that the Charity Shield being cursed, but there's no doubt that Arsenal are the team to beat this season. As City will look to try and get a consolation here with Grealish's free kick whipped in right-footed, headed out by Gabriel into the final minute of 3 that's been added on. Mosquera picks it up and plays it towards Gabriel. Gabriel goes long, looking towards Gyökeres. Donnarumma is able there to gather the ball. Cherki for Manchester City. Rico Lewis plays the ball now towards the right. And then there's back to Semenyo. He's up against 2 at the moment. He goes towards the penalty area, Capier. And the referee does give the free kick, and in fact, he blows the whistle. Arsenal have won the 2026 Community Shield. They took the lead inside the first minute through Ricardo Calafiori after 23 seconds, the quickest goal since 1968. Lovely ball from Lewis Skelly, threading it through. And Arsenal have sent a message to everybody in the Premier League that they mean business to retain their crown, to retain their title. 28 minutes gone. It was Kai Havertz that plodded on from a Solis header, and Havertz was there to head in. Donnarumma should have done better. Martin Odegaard finished off a fine move to make it 3-0. He ended up Donnarumma sitting down on his backside. City huffed and puffed. It got better as the game went on, but the result had been already decided and won by Arsenal at that stage. Arsenal will open the Premier League season at home against newly promoted Coventry. Man City will host Bournemouth next week. The week inquest for how Man City will respond to this defeat, how they will be post Pep Guardiola. Well, we'll find out in the coming months. Well, one thing we do know is that Arsenal have won the Community Shield, and they've won it comfortably against Manchester City. They've won it by 3 goals still. It finished here at the Principality Stadium. Arsenal